Madam Chair, thank you, and I do apologize to Ms. Thompson for distracting her with my boisterous hello as I walked in, and it's an honor to have both she and Ms. Vogel here. They've just been tireless advocates for Indian country. And I would start by talking about something that I think we all have an emotional connection to, and that's the American dream. I mean, the idea that people can make a better life for themselves. It's really hard to do that if you don't have a roof over your head and a stable living situation. It's really hard to do, and particularly in this country where it can be so hard to save. One of the key ways for Americans to get ahead from an equity perspective is to have home ownership. And Ms. Vogel, what she has done for a lot more years than a lot of us have been involved in anything, has just been talking about how powerful home ownership can be. And I know that in all of our districts, we hear about how housing is a problem. But gang, in Indian country, it is different. It's much worse. It is much more dire. And in Ms. Vogel's testimony, she talks about how many families trying to get ahead, trying to make it work in Indian country, in South Dakota, might be living under one roof. And about how even the most dedicated tribal housing agencies who are working and maintaining hundreds of homes are meeting a tiny fraction of the needs of their people. And we have a federal government that is making it more difficult day in and day out for dedicated professionals to help family realize their dreams. And so the bill that, Madam Chair, thank you, that's before the members, attempts to streamline some of this bureaucracy. Because right now, out in the private sector, out of Indian country, you can get information on mortgage, the types of records that you need to finalize a mortgage, and you can get that in a matter of hours. It is not hours when you're dealing with Indian country. It can be days and it can be weeks. I think Ms. Vogel has said that the South Dakota Native Homeownership Coalition has experienced delays anywhere from 30 to 365 days to get the kind of documents that are needed to close these purchases. This bill attempts to shave off some of the most jagged edges of that bureaucratic delay. And I'm just so grateful that there have been dedicated people willing to provide expertise, technical advice, and counseled us. I'm grateful for Senator Thune for really running with this bill, and I'm honored to have the House companion. And with that, of course, I would stand by for any questions or comments that my colleagues would have for me, although the real experts are sitting at the other end of the room.